Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Money and Markets Week Ahead, What to Watch on Wall Street. I'm moneyandmarkets.com research analyst and host of The Bull and the Bear, Matt Clark. Glad you're with us on here. Just to give you a look ahead at what's coming up this week on Wall Street and around the economic world, if you will. In June, if you remember, the numbers came out from the Congressional Budget Office and the Department of the Treasury that the federal budget deficit was about $864 billion. That's huge. That was larger than the entire budget deficit for all of 2017 or all of 2018 total. Now, not together, but all of 2017 was less, all of 2018 was less. To put a finer point on that, the federal budget deficit in June of 2020 was just $8 billion. Or in June of 2019, rather, it was just $8 billion. On Wednesday this week, the Congressional Budget Office is scheduled to release a status of the federal budget for the month of July, right around the time coronavirus started to hit another peak. So it'd be interesting to see just exactly what that looks like. Budget deficit doesn't necessarily have a direct correlation with the stock market. Remember, the economy is not the stock market, but investors will take note of the fiscal shape of the federal government because that's where stimulus is coming from. That's where that's where all that comes from. So they're going to watch that. The big increase in the deficit obviously has to do a lot with the $2.2 million CARES Act, which, as you remember, gave monetary relief for businesses and individuals from the impact of the coronavirus. Latest 10-year projections from the CBO suggest the economy in the United States won't recover from coronavirus spending for at least another decade. So that's pretty significant. Wall Street's going to keep a close eye on how much wider the deficit grew in July, if it did at all. Another key data point set to release this week is going to be the Consumer Price Index. This is a measure of the average change in prices paid by you and I for various goods and services. In June, the CPI rose 0.6%, indicating that the cost for most goods and services rose as millions of Americans remain unemployed due to the coronavirus layoffs and furloughs. The biggest increase in costs came in food, which jumped 4.5% in June. That was offset by a 12.6% drop in energy prices, mostly attributed to lower oil prices. However, oil has started to rebound, and that means fuel prices are going to likely tick back up again. On the IPO front, customer management company IBEX Holdings Limited, IBEX, is expected to price its initial public offering this week. It's a Bermuda-based company that has filed to raise about $100 million by selling 4.8 million shares of common stock. Right now, the price range is right around $20 to $22 a share. It's not a huge IPO, but the company has posted some pretty good increases in revenue, gross profit, and operational profit over the last year. Its revenue for the 9 months ending in March of 2020 was 8.5% higher than the same time a year ago. Its gross profit jumped 9%, and its operating profit was up 6.7%. If the IPO is successful at pricing at that higher range, the enterprise value of the IPO could be around $390 million. Again, not a huge one, not a huge IPO, but I think one you might want to watch. On the data dump side of things, it's going to be another week of data for investors to dive through. This week is going to be jobless claims. In June, the Bureau of Labor Statistics said non-farm employment rose by 4.8 million, but the unemployment rate dropped to 11.1%. And by dropped, I mean it actually went up. So nearly 18 million Americans remain unemployed. And now they face the struggle of losing that $600 per week jobless claim benefit coming from the federal government that went away at the end of July. Jobless claim figures will come out on Thursday morning. On Friday, investors will get a look at how retail sales were in July. In June, sales were up 7.5%. But we had a second round of lockdowns in some states, and that could see that figure recede a bit in July. Earnings reports, we do have some earnings, not necessarily big companies, but some you probably know. Canopy Growth, the largest market cap cannabis company in the world, will be reporting Monday before the market opens. Marriott International, the hotel chain, it also reports Monday before the market opens. Royal Caribbean, which, as you know, travel stocks have just been taking an absolute beating in the first and second quarter. They will report Monday before the market opens. Nautilus Incorporated will be reporting after the market closes on Monday. Occidental Petroleum Corporation reports Monday after the market closes on Tuesday. T2 Biosystems will report after the market closes. Cisco Systems and LYFT, the popular rideshare app, they both report Wednesday after the market closes. And then DraftKings, the very popular sports betting site, will report out Friday before the market opens. It'll be interesting to see how DraftKings does, considering how sports betting is kind of on the rise to a degree, even without. But now we see sports that are coming back into the fold. Q2 earnings are probably going to be a little off, but now that sports are back in the mix, I think you'll probably see Q3 a nice forecast by DraftKings in terms of what to expect coming up in the third quarter. So that's a look at your money and markets week ahead, what to watch on Wall Street. I am moneymarkets.com research analyst and host of the Bull and the Bear podcast, Matt Clark. Glad you clicked on this video to check us out. If you want to listen to the Bull and Bear podcast, you can do so on any number of podcast syndicators, including Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify, and many more. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can just click on the subscribe button down at the bottom, and you'll be notified of any time we post new videos. We post them all the time, so make sure you check that out. If you're looking for profitable, safe investing information and advice, make sure you check us out at moneyandmarkets.com. So until then, I'm Matt Clark, and safe trading.